Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. Thursday, July the 2nd, 2026. This is a pre-recorded podcast. I'm going to do a live podcast at 4 p.m., but I'm going to do that on my YouTube channel for Circle of Grace 1. Now, why am I doing both of these? Well, first of all, I want to share with you how the Circle of Grace 1 came to be. Because today, this is the 52nd year anniversary for the Circle of Grace 1. This journey to become an enlightened person while helping others do the same was not my plan. You know, when you're born into this world, not everybody remembers. And I'm born in the 50s, so I know I didn't really understand what my life would be about. But this remembrance of something kicked in and began when I was about age 8, when I simply thought I was having a dream being in college. And here I was, age 8, living on Long Island in Nassau County in a village town, incorporated village called Hempstead. Now, once I shared this with my biological mother, whose name is Grace, she's has transitioned over 40 years ago. She informed me that what I received was not a dream. It was a vision. So I thought I was dreaming. That's the word I knew to say as a child. But she informed me it was a vision. A vision is a series of events that will occur as real events in my life. And I explained what happened. I explained how I saw myself on this, what I assumed to be a college campus. I was playing volleyball, and then somehow I served the ball. The ball goes back over my head, and it rolls down this grassy knoll in front of the administration building and rolled between two oak trees. I went in between them to retrieve the ball, but I felt like this surge of energy going through my stomach and abdominal area, which kind of made me feel like I wasn't going to be well. So I kind of leaned forward and put my hands on my knees. And then my peripheral vision coming up, I could see these penny loafer shoes. They were brown with coins in them. Now, if you grew up back in the 40s and the 50s, they called them penny loafers because people would stick pennies. The men and the women would stick the pennies in this little sleeve that went right over the foot. And that's why they call them penny loafers. And if you were smart enough and thought you were wealthy enough, you'd switch those pennies out and try a nickel or a quarter. But it wasn't a cool thing to do. Pennies were better. At least that way you could keep your shoes. So here I was having that experience in the dream and meeting a professor whose name at that point was Mario Bick, and I already knew his name from the vision. Sped up 10 years later, being at this college called Bard College, that same experience did happen. It happened in the month of September, and the same kind of energy happened. I served the ball, it shot back over my head. I went between the two oak trees. I felt like I walked through this web, like a thick, ropey web of energy, bending over from my waist, putting my hands on my knees, see these shoes come up in my vision, eyes, right? And when the person asked me my name to give me the ball, I just stuttered. And I said his name, I said my name is Francis. I asked him what was his name to verify what I had received at age 8. And when he said his first name being Mario, I completed it. I said Mario Bick. Turned out he was a professor of anthropology. He was from Long Island, where he was at the State University of Stony Brook, where he taught anthropology. And I think I took a course with him later on in my college years. But he was the guy that ran a college used bookstore. And prior to me working in a college used bookstore, I was a person who was a mail clerk. So I would go around on campus and pick up all the mail from all the different professors of all the different majors. And I would deliver that mail to another mail clerk who would drive everything to the post office once they sorted it out properly. I was also the guy that picked up other things so things can be distributed on campus. My year began because I was dealing with some issues. I used to have a bad temper. I used to get bullied a lot, and imagine in my freshman year in college being bullied by some guy I don't even know. And then finally, my emotions got to me, and I almost I didn't kill him, but I let him know that I'm not to be bothered. And in that process, one of the people that separated us by getting me off of him was a guy that wasn't even a student there. He would come and visit quite often, and turned out he taught me how to do meditation. I'll just mention his first name, which was Martin, like Martin Lawrence. But this guy, he would just roam the campus. He wasn't a student there. Apparently, toward the first semester of my freshman year, he was teaching meditation not only to me outdoors behind a dormitory, but to several other people who were students in this little wooded area behind a dormitory called Ward Manor. And it was interesting. He had us spread out underneath tarps near some trees and a log, and we would just sit there. He was teaching us how to meditate quietly. And that was it, using meditation to calm the mind and the emotions and the body. Well, that scenario kind of set me up for other things. I was a part of a Taekwondo martial arts club. I think they pronounce it Taekwondo. Then when I went home for the summer, I studied Shotokan. And then someone else in the HEOP program that I was a part of was dating some guy that would come up from Mount Vernon, New York, and he was a Goju-Ryu or Nisei Goju karate black belt. And he would come and use me as his sparring partner, the Uki. Well, all these things happened. Most important thing was my third eye popped open. Now, people say, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. I felt like someone was splitting my head right down the center with an axe when it happened. It was a pleasant experience, but some things happened. And all this happened like in my freshman year, freshman to sophomore year in college. That was way back in 1970, 71. Long time. And somehow, through all of that, even in my start of my senior year, which was 1973 and graduating in 1974, someone was teaching Tai Chi, and I learned how to do the beginning of the Yang style 108 movements. This is way back in the 70s. I had was that opportunity to experience these things, and I was just an art major. And even as an art major, I was feeling things. And even during that time in my freshman year, I was receiving information from students who would be sitting next to me in a library or during mealtime. Well, I'm just passing them on campus and getting all this information. And at some point, anonymously sharing this information with the people that I was receiving it from, and later stopped. It got to be quite the talk of the campus. No one knew who was giving them this information. I couldn't reveal to anybody that I was that person. I say all of this because this is the background that leads to today's event. As I said, this is Circle Grace 1 here on Thursday, July the 2nd, 1974, when it was formulated, when it was established. Now, during that time, getting out of college, and I didn't know that I was going to be doing this path as a metaphysical person, person with spiritual interests or positive level occult interests, meditation. Didn't know that this was the path that I was to be on. As time went on, I would write my mother these long handwritten notes, letters of my experience, things that I was dreaming, things that I would see while I was asleep, having the out of body experiences. All these things were happening to me, but I didn't understand. And this is back in the 70s. Once she revealed some things to me, I couldn't share anything, not even with the people who I thought was my close friends from grade school into high school. Once I got into college, I didn't even explain it then because who am I going to share it with? I didn't want anybody to know that I had that level of interest. But at the same time, people on campus were doing regressions. They were psychology and philosophy majors doing regressions with people. Hmm. That's what they were doing, but they weren't sharing that. And those people were considered the upper college, the juniors and the seniors doing that. There were other people doing meditation, but they didn't share. It was like a secret almost. So I didn't have any way of sharing what I was developing at a slow pace, sometimes shocking, literally electrically shocking me from the inside. Now, once I was out of college, graduating in June of 1974, my mother started to talk more to me. Now, she had, you know, came from a group of siblings that was 10, 11, 12 siblings from the South. And I only know her, my mother, whose name was Grace, and two of her older sisters. They would talk about being born with the foreskin over the eyes called the veil. And when babies had that, that was to represent them having a psychic, intuitive, prophetic ability. And I remember that my mom and two of her older siblings would come together and do these little psychic readings at each other's homes for some relatives and some people. At some point, I knew that my mother was doing something. She wasn't quite explaining what she was doing, but she would have, I will say, some friends come over and she would tell them things about themselves, about their lives. about their home life, what was going on, how work was going to go well or not go well. So I knew my mom had an ability. I didn't know that much about my other aunties and maybe one or two uncles that could read, quote unquote, read people. But in 1979, my mother received a vision, her own vision. Now, I'm quite sure she received many prior to that, but she received her own vision. And her vision involved me. We were staying at another older sister's house. And every Saturday, usually my mom and I would sit down and watch uh, Warner Brothers cartoons. And this particular Saturday morning, prior to having breakfast, she just told me to come into the den area because she needed to tell me something. I'm saying, what does she need to tell me? All I know is when I stepped into that den, I've never felt energy like that before. That energy was so thick, I guess we could call it the ectoplasm coming over her body. She began to reveal to me that her vision was that she had to introduce me to her circle of friends. She needed them to confirm something that she knew that I was born with through her. Well, what was that vision? That vision basically said to her that she was going to transition within 2 years. Now, she gave me that information in the spring of 1979. And every Saturday, for almost 2 years, she would have me drive through Nassau County into Suffolk County, back into Nassau County to meet some friends of hers. And who were these friends? Well, my mother was a member of the Rosicrucians, the order of the ancient mystical order of the Rosy Cross, it was called, AMORC. She also was a member of a group called Astara, but there was a Rosicrucian group in Westbury, Long Island, New York, and she would go there over almost every Wednesday or Thursday night to get those teachings to study. Well, she also had me drive her into Queens and into Brooklyn and up into Manhattan. We never went into Staten Island, but she would also have me drive up into the Bronx. Then, now this is like for over a year on Saturdays. So we covered like maybe two or three homes on a Saturday where she had all these friends who were fellow Rosicrucians and Astarians. I didn't quite get it, but I knew she wanted me to drive. And then eventually we got up into New Rochelle and Mount Vernon. But we had cousins up there. But those cousins related to her, I didn't see them having the same kind of energy that my mom and her two other older sisters had. But things were happening. And eventually she took me to a lady in Brooklyn that was called Big Mama. And Big Mama was a Haitian lady, and she could read people. Uh, I'll go into more detailed about these situations when I do my live podcast at 4 p.m. today, July 2nd, 2026, on my Circle of Grace 1 channel. What eventually happened was my mother knew that she was going to transition, and therefore she needed to find out if what I was born with was going to be something for me to take on. Eventually, even prior to her passing, when I was out of college, she would talk about it a lot, but she always felt that it wasn't going to get off the ground. So she kind of planted her seed, her thought, her desire within me. And on July 2nd of 1974, just 1 month after graduating from college with a Bachelor of Arts degree in fine arts, I established through her Circle of Grace 1. By July 2nd of 1999, it was Circle of Grace 1 dash the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance. That's when my metaphysical and spiritual gifts began to flourish. I was giving readings to people. I was on radio with Lloyd Strayhorn, his most popular guest from 1982 to 1987. And I was his guest on when he did Manhattan Cable. Met all these different people. But things began to develop with me and for me. And I just kept going. So here we are today in the year 2026, July the 2nd. The Circle Grace 1 is now 52 years old. And he said, it's happening in Albuquerque. Well, one of the things in that life reading that my mother gave me was that I would relocate several times within the Nassau County area of Long Island and eventually go to Jersey, and then from Jersey, New Jersey, come here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. But she said that this was the most favorable location for me to live in permanently, because this is my real home, not anything on the East Coast. So as things happened, I had to develop these gifts. I had to seek out ways for this gift to take full effect in my life. During my journey spanning over 52 years, I, Brother Francis E. Revelsby, received what is called a Shaktipat, or Shaktipa, spelled Shaktipat, a special initiation from my late, who was alive at that time, my Tai Chi instructor in Manhattan, from his Maha Yoga guru in 1977. And I believe that date was April the 2nd or the 7th of 1977. What is a Shaktipa? Is when a master can initiate the beginning, rise, or ascension within your body of the Kundalini, called the serpentine energy. Cords of light braided around the body. Ida and Pingala. One represents the sun, the other represents the moon, and they move in a braided action around and inside the spine through the sympathetic nerve system. And it can take years. Once you're lit like a match from a master, a guru to you. Now, we didn't have to see this guy in person. He used over 100 photographs of different students. He was in Texas somewhere, and he was initiating this spiritual, metaphysical thought process to all of us who he selected as candidates. What does Maha mean? Maha is dealing with the illusions of the world, how to overcome the illusions of the world. Eventually, through meditation, but clearing out your fear, clearing out your doubt, um, anointing you with self-confidence, self-empowerment. Now, back then, people weren't talking about connecting with your higher self. They would talk about the term yoga. Yoga meant to be yoked up, to be connected to the divine source, known as God. Reverend Ike and other metaphysicians would say the God in you, before you can change what's outside externally happening in your world, you must go within. And you must spend time within yourself, within your body, within your brain and your mind, and deal with your own emotions and mental states of being to become balanced so that you can experience divine source, spirit that is omnipotent and omniscient, all powerful, all present inside of you. Your thoughts become purified. Your emotions are purified. Your actions and your deeds are purified. But it prepares you to align yourself with divine source, divine beings that are really extensions of you. During that time, once I went through that initiation, I was drawn to the study of crystals. And this is way back in 1977. I was drawn to selenite through a dream. And that was in the spring, right around my birthday, I believe, of 1981 or 88. This came into my life. I wrote a book about selenite. I was attracted to the study of chakras. That's the Hindu word, Sanskrit and Hindu word that represents the wheel of light within you from the various 7 major centers in the body in which this energy pours out of you. I was introduced also to the sound of bijas, Bijas. These are seed thoughts that are representing the attributes of the divine source, and so many other methods. I even stayed with the study of Tai Chi, even from a solo standpoint, without a teacher, and received a lot of information. Well, all during this time of my 52 years, I've taught over 40 different topics, metaphysical and spiritual. I was a guest 24 times, the most popular guest for my good buddy Lloyd Strayhorn when he was on WLIB 1190 AM radio in New York City with his show back then, like he names all his books, Numbers and You. Most popular guest, 24 times over a 7-year stretch. 7 years worth of time expressing numbers. He even wrote a book back here. The key to life is numerology. The study of your name and date of birth, your name and date of birth through the study of numbers. The key to life is numerology. There's so much that has transpired. There was also my 7th book, Radiant Heart. And if you ever come through Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, all 7 of my books are there. The numerology book, this is my 7th book, Radiant Heart. There are 7 amazing pathways to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. That's there. Decree and it shall be. Speak as I am is there. The wisdom of Akhenaten is there. The gift, which is the wisdom of Nefertiti, is there. The age of remembrance, which is the divine I am presence and selenite. All seven, all seven of my books I've donated to Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics Library. That means you can go in there and take out books, borrow books just like in a regular library, and read what I've written. I've participated in numerous psychic fairs from Long Island to Bronx to Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. We're going way back into the late 70s and 80s and 90s, and then in New Jersey, and then out here as well. I'm affiliated with Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics, usually every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a small fee of $10 per class. You can join me and several other students and learn how to meditate. I use guided meditation. I also use self-guided meditations. I also use mindfulness meditations. And then work each person in the group all the way into the silent path of meditation, because that's where you meet your higher self, where your higher self feels like it's coming through a door on the other end of a long hallway, years and years of training. Finally, you connect, you begin to activate it through yourself, you begin to recognize the higher self. I was on other people's internet and radio podcasts as well. So it's my goal that you join me in this moment to experience a brand new meditation. This is the 52nd year anniversary of the CircleOfGrace1 and this new creative path work meditation. The CPMs I created started in 1996, still going strong. But here's a new one. This is for the celebration of meditation. If you can, I want you to be seated. Go to a place where you will not be disturbed. Bring a mug of water, a glass of water, a container of water at room temperature that you can sip on throughout this guided journey. I want you to be seated. I want you to breathe in through the nose and release the breath through the mouth. Each cycle of breath is one inhalation with an exhalation. You don't have to hold your breath at the end of the exhalation nor at the top of the inhalation. You just want to breathe and get comfortable. We're going to experience a guided meditation together. This is the celebration of meditation. Start to breathe. And let your breathing, the rhythm of your breath that's done slowly for yourself, can bring you to a moment of deep inner awareness, as well as the external. Just letting yourself pay attention to those little minute feelings that you get, those sensations in your body. I want you to imagine, to visualize that you're seated in a small but colorful studio that has high ceilings and very tall windows on one side and smaller heights of windows across from you. On the walls are drawings and paintings hanging on the wall. Near you, there's a couch and also a desk with a chair. And I want you to absorb those words for a moment. Now, sometimes I may suggest something, a descriptive image, but the words that I use might trigger you to feel another image. And whatever that image comes up, kind of go with it. Trust your instincts. Yeah, as you keep breathing, the rhythm of your breathing is going to take you deeper into this meditation. If you want, choose the couch and lay down upon the couch. Immediately, this comfortable couch has embraced your body. Within this meditation, you're in a safe zone, comfortable zone. You feel like you can almost go to sleep. It's a place of deep meditation and contemplation. Well, as you begin to feel the presence of the couch and the atmosphere in the studio, you somehow begin to dream. And you notice that a scene comes forth for you. And you might remember seeing this somewhere before, but I want you to explore what you are feeling about what you are seeing internally. For this new meditation of contemplation and celebration is going to bring you in touch with nature. So imagine that you're in this studio and you can feel everything inside as well as everything that is outside. In this journey of celebration and meditation, you feel like you got to get up within this journey. Not open your eyelids, just get the sensation of being outdoors, being firmly connected to everything around you. You see, the energy of light and life will flow through you. And you feel yourself being a part of every image that is around you. You will experience colorful butterflies. And they dance around from flower to flower. And eventually, they land on you. And you're not the least disturbed that one or two beautiful butterflies have come to you. They inspect you just like they would a plant. They seem to come to you, more of them coming to you, landing on your head, hands, arms, legs, feet, chest, back. They're just enamored with you, these butterflies. They're inspecting you. And you feel your life force, energy, call your chi within yourself begin to move. Perhaps your body heats up. Start to sweat like I am a little bit. But you feel this sense of wonderment, beauty, peace, and harmony. Even though you could be dreaming, but if not, you can still feel this energy flow in and around you. You feel like these little butterflies, these beings of miraculous transformation, are quote unquote speaking with you. Your entire body is filling up with Mother Earth's chi. You cannot even hear yourself breathe, but you know that in the midst of everything, you are being cared for. Your mind is calm and you feel rooted into Mother Earth and deeply centered from your heart to her heart. Take your time. At this very moment, you can feel the intuitive degrees of light as the presence of divine grace dances through you. This is when you can calmly remember and realize that every being that walks upon the heart of Mother Earth, swims in her ponds and lakes, flies above her mountaintops, sits in her trees, or emerges from the depths of her caverns. You feel the presence of the sun and the moon and the stars above you and the ground beneath you. Continue to breathe evenly and gently. No need to rush. Hopefully, in this moment, you're breathing all of the energy through the nose and back out of the nose. Every part of nature is in you. And for a split moment, you are every creature, large or small, and they are you. Take your time. Feel the images suggested to you. You feel a sense of empowerment. You feel that you are going through a greater sense of change and purification, transformation, and transcendence of all your thoughts, all your feelings. Various hurts and pains and chaotic situations are getting dissolved from your memory. In this moment, breathing deeply, caressing yourself, feeling a sense of wellness and wholeness and complete, and yet you're still expanding. These degrees of light are upon you as if you were submerging yourself in a bathtub or feeling the water sprinkle down over you. You notice that there are different color vibrations popping up, and there are numerous beings that are radiating this energy. You cannot believe what you are experiencing. And it's unique because there are only three elements. You all share together, and that is the infinite degrees of light in every hue and unconditional love that emanates from your body, from your heart, along with the infinite power of divine grace. Inhale. You feel connected, and everything around you feels connected to you. Your infinite grace blesses you with a sacred child. This child can fly in and move in from many places. If it wants to, this child can be at Atlantis. It could be in Lemuria. It could be dancing in the light of its own divine grace right there where you are now. You feel a sense of closeness. And now you need to know this. You and all beings are connected from heart to heart. And you feel every trauma that occurred in your life and how it is creating the pattern of dis-ease and total fatigue. But yet, you know that stirring deep inside of you for all of your pain, you notice that you're being purified on some level, healed on another level. And what used to be stuck energy or old energy, stagnated energy, we call it lesser frequencies. They begin to dissolve. People who seem to be stuck in the field of hatred, that energy that they carry eventually becomes dissolved, unrecognizable, purified essence into a special sustenance for you. You feel connected. You don't feel lost. These lower frequencies, no matter where they come from, who carried them to you, they're low frequencies. And you do not live in those negative thoughts or feelings, nor physical or material or mental. You are free from that old way of thinking. And as your elders are sending you sorts of unconditional love, beauty, harmony, happiness, they are assisting you. They begin to encircle you, but first, the children, the sacred children, encircle you, followed by older children, followed by adults and seasoned elders. You begin to experience this radiance source of light that is wisdom and understanding and compassion and infinite divine grace having a unique power within itself to create healing for you. Allow yourself to go deeper in your breathing. And I want you to know and understand that you are overflowing in a bed of silence right now. You can feel yourself caressed by the couch that you are on while you are dreaming. It's in that studio. You can feel it. And there's a hint of blue light in your breath and upon you. You're feeling great oneness with yourself. You feel buoyant. You feel upbeat. You feel happier. You know that light is all around you. You know that this light that continues to flourish through you and for you creates balance. At some point in this journey, you become triggered so you can receive radiant miracles imprinted deep into your cells, into your mind, into your body. This change is taking place deeper within you. Just relax. Just feel yourself embraced by life force energy that is healthy for you, that remembers you. Feel your sense of sacredness within your being and within the being of others. One is neither higher nor lower. You can help each other remain connected to divine source. Read about it every day, meditate upon it every day. Just allow it, the teachings within all of those books that you have, or I have, anybody has. Let the words that fall upon those pages heal the trauma within you. Heal the doubt. Heal the fear. You feel this deep, rich wealth of spirit. You feel the power, the infinite power of the grace, of this grace, of divine grace moving through you, moving into your blood, which is the rivers of your body, moving into the light within you as the sky, as your consciousness. You are becoming the trees, you're becoming the beings, and they are seeking you always. So take a moment, breathe deeply in through the nose and let it out through the mouth. Continue to do that. Just relax. You feel this sense of emotional wellness. You feel at peace. You feel at peace. You feel a sense of great joy. So don't rush, just take your time. Explore the depths of harmony and tranquility that's building up on the inside of you. Stay in a space of gratitude and grace. Take your time, just breathe. Well, before we sign out, I just want to thank you for joining me in the celebration of meditation and in this particular brand new Creative Path Work meditation series. You know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, July 3rd, 4th, and 5th, is the second annual Paintsgiving, it's called. It's a community event, painting, partnership, and purpose. But there's a charity bazaar for the New Mexico Dream Center. This is where this center is helping local teens experiencing homelessness, exploitation, or trafficking. This is going on Friday, July 3rd through Sunday, July the 5th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Here's what you need to know. On each one of those days, there's going to be two, or four of Resonant Essentials Intuitive Arts Guild Directory Psychics. I'm one of them. And we are invested in the day that you come see us, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th. I will be there Saturday, July the 4th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I'm one of many psychics offering for free at a lesser price for free. Not really free, but we're going to give you readings for 10 minutes, $10. So if you're available, I'll be there Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. The address is 2703 Broadbent Parkway, Northeast Suite J, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87107. We are located in the Broadbent Industrial Business Park, and we're right behind Carrington College, 3 seconds, almost a minute. Once you turn off of Manoal, there's a traffic light right there opposite the Sunset Memorial Cemetery, and you'll see Carrington College. Drive like you're going in the park at Carrington Nursing School, and then bear to the right, follow the road around, and you'll see some tan colored buildings coming up on your left. You follow that road, and then you'll see the building marked 2703. That's the building that we're in. You just go into the parking lot, park as close as you can all the way down. And at that point, you'll be in the north section of that area, and look for Suite J. We'll be right there. It's a charity bazaar, so you could be buying microwave ovens, you could be buying hot plates, uh, towels, you name it, artwork, many other things, books that are set there for you. Whatever you are paying at a relatively small amount of money will be for the Dream Center to help those homeless teens, homeless children. So come on down. Friday, July 3rd, Saturday, July 4th, Sunday, July 5th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., and check out the charity bazaar. And if you feel like spending $10 for just 10 minutes, there'll be a few of us there giving readings, $10 for 10 minutes. Very special fee other than what you experience at the psychic fair or outside of there. Thank you for experiencing the celebration of meditation, a brand new creative pathwork meditation that I developed for the celebration 52nd anniversary of the Circle of Grace 1. For today, July 2nd, it was established in 1974, but today, 52 years later, still going strong. I'm the founder and chief principal teacher, Brother Francis E. Revels Bay. Thank you for your time. later on today, 4 p.m., live podcast celebrating the 56th anniversary of the Circle of Grace 1. I'll probably be on for an hour or hour and a half, starting 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Go to www.youtube.com/@ Circle of Grace with the number 1, and I'll be there live. I've just sent out an email to about almost 50 of you. So when you get on, invite some friends, and I'm going to answer your questions about the Circle of Grace 1 and other things that I'm doing in celebration of meditation, but especially for the Circle of Grace 1. Today is the 52nd anniversary celebration. Well, I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to get some rest because I got to be on live today, 4 p.m. Thank you so much for your time, for being here with me today, and whenever you see me. Remember, this is a pre-recorded podcast, this one right here, because we started at 2:03 in the morning, and now it's 3:07 a.m. Time for me to sign off. You'll see this link on Resonant Essentials, the group Facebook page. Take care, everybody. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you this Saturday, July 4th, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll be doing those readings, $10 for 10 minutes. But you can come Friday, there'll be other people. They're reading from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday and Sunday. So take care of yourselves. I hope you participate and come to the charity bazaar at Resident Essentials, 2703 Broadbent Parkway Northeast, Suite J, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Zip code in that area, 87107. All right, everybody. I'm signing off and hope to see you this Saturday. Or guess what? On July the 12th, we have a psychic fair from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., free admission. We have all kind of people there. I'll be there as well. And the readings are a little higher, but still quite inexpensive. So 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday, July the 12th, Psychic and Healing Arts Fair for Resident Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Take care. If you need to email me at iam.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at gmail.com. In fact, go to www.residentessentials.com. Go to the top, click on Guild Directory, and go into the different sections there. And guess what? If you go into Metaphysics Instruction, I'll be right in there. You can find out more information about me. Take care now. Hope to see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching this celebration of meditation, 52nd year anniversary for the Circle of Grace 1.